Good evening, everyone. I'm Ayush Srivastav, and I'm here to present a paper on ultrasonic vibration-assisted turning. What we are going to do in this paper is predict the material-dependent parameters and the friction for designing the UAT process. Let me start by introducing the process to you. As you can see the schematic diagram of the UAT process over here. What we do is we do the process of turning with a tool by just providing it ultrasonic vibrations with the use of a piezoelectric transducers. The vibrations are along the radial direction, and these vibrations allow the tool to be in contact with the workpiece for a limited amount of time, as compared to the all-time contact in conventional turning. Let me explain the setup to you. The setup of the UAT process is there's a piezoelectric transducer which works on the piezoelectric effect, and there is a booster and a horn which amplify and control the amplitude of the vibrations which are being provided to the tool so that the workpiece can be cut. Explaining the merchant's force circle over here, what we know is that the tool cuts the workpiece, and the resultant force represented by R here can be divided into two forces in two different ways. As you can see, it can be divided into a cutting force and a feed force, and the second way to divide it is in a friction force and a normal force. In this paper, we are going to focus on the friction force and the normal force, as we want the friction coefficient of this process. Okay, so before going to the inverse model, we'll first understand the direct model. According to the direct model, the turning process can be divided into two parts: the sticking zone and the sliding zone. At first, the tool cuts the workpiece, and the chip sticks to the tool. And after reaching a certain point, it starts sliding over the tool. This graph represents that exact process. This parameter represents the normal stress, and this represents the frictional shear stress. And these are the parameters which represent the distance of the sticking zone and the sliding zone. This point represents the distance from the point at which the tool chip loses contact with the workpiece. This is the main graph on which we'll be developing the equations. As you can see, we have taken the equations directly from previous papers. This is the equation for the normal stress, for the frictional shear stress, and the tool chip contact length. I'll not be explaining the equations over here, but you can look them up in these papers. We have directly taken them as a derivative from their paper. Please concentrate on these red parameters Y, which are the material dependent parameters which we'll be predicting in our paper by some calculations. Same is the case with these equations. These are the equations for a simple harmonic motion in which we have assumed the tool to follow a simple harmonic path. Similarly, we have taken the help of another paper by U.S. Dixit in 2018, and we have taken these two another equations which represent the normal stress and the tool chip contact length. We'll be using these equations for our inverse model. Please note that these red parameters A, B, C, and D are also the material dependent parameters which we'll be calculating in our paper. Okay, so as we know, we have the stress, normal stress, and the shear stress, and the frictional shear stress. So we'll also calculate the forces, the normal force and the friction force. These equations are also the combination of two different papers, and we have directly taken them from their paper. And we are going to use the Coulomb's friction model over here. So we'll be calculating these forces and just taking their ratio to find the frictional coefficient. At this point, we have completed the direct model, and we'll proceed with the parametric study. The parametric study is necessary so that we can know that we can perform an inverse model on this process. As you can see, we have taken Y, B, and D as the parameters which will vary, and we'll keep A and C constant as they don't affect the process that much. This is a graph which we have directly taken from another paper. This is the results from an experiment. We'll be using these results for our parametric study. So what we have done in our parametric study is we have taken a single parameter and plotted a graph between the normal force, friction force, and the cutting speeds to see the variation. As you can see, the variation is fairly variable, and this thus predicts that this is a good signal for an inverse model. Same is the case with B. You can see that the variation is fairly variable in both the case of the normal force and the friction force. And same is the case with D. So we have studied all the three parameters, Y, B, and D, which we are going to use as the material dependent parameters which are variable in the inverse study. We are keeping A and C constant, thus we have not plotted the graphs for them. Okay, so coming to the main inverse methodology which we are proposing over here. So to predict the material dependent parameters A, B, C, D, and Y, what we are going to do is we are going to use the previous equations which we studied from the previous slides. This equation can be looked upon in the previous slide. What we have done is we have taken a cutting velocity. We have taken two cutting velocities and calculated the normal stress for conventional turning. these two equations can be solved simultaneously and B can be found. And putting the value of B in any of these equations will result in the value of A. Thus, we will have the values of A and B both. Same is the case with C and D. Will follow a similar procedure just by using a different equation, which is shown over here. And for Y, what we are going to do is we are going to use this theoretical model and calculate the normal and friction force. And we also have these values from an experimental table that I showed before. And we are going to do is we are going to reduce the error between the theoretical value and the experimental value. By doing this, what we'll doing is we'll be calculating the value of Y by using any of the numerical methods. For example, I mentioned the bisection method over here, but we can use any other method of numerical methods to calculate the value of Y. As soon as we have all the 5 material dependent parameters, what we have done is to show that our study is good and can be used in industry. What we have done is we have plotted a graph to show the accuracy of our model. As you can see, the normal force, friction force are plotted against the cutting speed, and the frictional coefficient is also found against the cutting speed. What you can see over here is that the dots represent the experimental model, and the dots have a 20% error from our line model. The line model represents our theoretical inverse model, thus predicting that our model is in fact better and does some improvement in the results of the experiments. Thus, we should use this model in industries to calculate the frictional coefficient, thereby helping us in designing of the UAT process. To further support our model, what we have done is we have also plotted the friction coefficient against the frequency and the amplitude, showing their variation with the change in frequency and amplitude. In conclusion, what I like to say is that our inverse model requires 3 values: the normal force, friction force, and the tool chip contact length from the conventional turning process. And what we can help predict with our inverse model are the material dependent parameters and the coefficient of friction, which will help us in designing of the UAT process. That's all from my side. Thank you.